Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 6, request touch and go. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 6, request touch and go. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 6. Request touch and go. Notch your flaps. Prevent the balloon. Turn in for a heading of 150. Second notch of flaps. Trim the nose down a little bit. Trying to do a standard rate turn. Roll into 150. Nose down a little bit more. Roll on into the runway. Last notch of flaps. Trying to get in past the threshold. Flaps up, full power. Up we go. Maintaining runway heading. Trying to pitch for around 80 knots. Or 75. Okay, pattern altitude back to 2000. Terminal heading of 330. Trying to do a standard rate turn. Coming up on 330, roll it into it. Pull the power back a little bit. Down the shoreline of Lake Erie. Parallel to the runway should be a 240 heading. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 6. Request touch and go. Part of what I'm also testing tonight is, besides just doing some practice pattern work, just love to keep my skills up. So when I go land at another airport, it hopefully looks as good. Is running Linux in VR and X-Plane 11.50 Beta 4. And pretty much ever since I have gonna put a notch of flaps out. Little nose down trim to prevent the balloon. Pretty much ever since I've been flying in VR in Linux, I've had a problem and I could never figure out what the right word was. The word I've come up with is double vision. Any of, like, say, the gauges are, if I look at them and don't move my head, they're crisp. And I'm running a valve index, and so the gauges look good. But if I move my head, I get what I'll call a double vision. So there's a second image. Roll over to a heading of 150. So there's a second image to the, if I turn my head quickly to the left, there's a second image to the left. And depending on how fast I put another notch of flaps out, depending on how fast I turn my head, that's how far the second image will be from the original. This is a dual boot machine. I run Windows 10 Professional on that one, and I don't see this problem on my Windows machine. So it's something related to Linux. I'm not sure what it is. I just know I see it, and so like right there, if I look at that housing development, it looks good. If I move my head back and forth, I'll see basically every house. I'll see it there twice. So I'll pull the power back just a little bit here. Throw in the last notch of flaps. Try to get your nose down a little bit. So that's the second thing I'm doing is and I've looked at the videos of this. It doesn't show up. I don't know what the deal is, but it doesn't show up in the video, in the streams at all. I think it's related to the frame rates, how fast you're, a little bit more power here. I think it's just how fast that that you record. What's going on is faster than that. So that's why it doesn't get picked up. So about the best I can do is describe it. And because I can't do a video that shows it. So. And as you can see, it doesn't seem to affect how I fly the airplane. So it's just I'll call it an annoyance. It's I desperately would like for Linux to be in VR to be the same experience as what I experience in Windows. So it's why I've been testing betas of 11.50 and for some time, and streaming the testing that I'm doing. So just to kind of document it as best I can. Alrighty, we're coming up on pattern altitude. I'll pull the power back to around 2000. And turn on 330 heading. Yeah, the other day I was flying and I thought I was in Vulkan. And I am in Vulkan right now. But it turns out I was in OpenGL. I was wondering why my frames were down. And that's why I was in OpenGL, not Vulkan. So like right now I'm in Vulkan. So and I'm running default everything. So the only thing I have is I have two plugins. I have one plugin for Linux, so that the ATC and stuff, I get the voice synthesizer for Linux. I have that in here, and I have Fly with Lua with two scripts. The one script is my landing rate. I tend not to fly without that. I just want to keep myself honest. And the other thing is that normally in Windows I fly with a overlay that's FPS VR. So it gives you your frames per second. It gives you some graphs of how the CPU and that stuff's doing. And so I kind of replicated that in Linux with the Lua script. So it's showing me my frames. It's showing the CPU, GPU times, what time it is in the real world at home, and how many minutes the sim's been on. So that way when I'm streaming, I can kind of keep kind of track of what I'm doing and kind of go from there. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 6, request touch and go. So I'll put a nut to flaps out. Yeah, and like right now, if I just keep my head still, I mean, that scenery it's all fine. But if I move my head, then I'll see two of those, all the buildings. So, standard rate turn, one more notch of flaps out. Trim nose down a little bit. Okay, rolling on runway heading. She's looking fairly good right now. I try not to touch anything and see how well this turns out. No, that ain't gonna work. Those are not your flaps. I did have like about a 500 foot per minute descent for a while there, and I thought I could ride that in, but then I realized I didn't have my nacho flaps out. So we're descending at about 500 foot per minute, and doing not too bad. So we'll kind of ride this out. We'll be over the threshold. So I'm going to slowly pull the power back. She gets down close to the runway to start pulling that back. Flaps up. Put full power into it. Good enough. Oops. Load too fast airspeed. There we go. Just trying to stay on runway heading. Pull back, power back to 2000. Going for a 330 heading. Roll into that. Whenever I watch the airspeed climb up a little bit, I just pull back on the yoke a little bit to arrest that. Because we're trying to get level here at around 1800. I'm just under 2000 right now. At 2000 RPM. Yeah, I'll do one more touch and go and then a full stop after that. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 6, touch and go, request touch and go landing. I think this will be my last day for Beta 4 doing Linux testing, I believe. I'm thinking I'm going to have something on Windows to test. So we're going to put out one notch of flaps. Actually, it'd be great if I had a couple of things, but we'll see. Alrighty, gonna roll her in on 150 heading. We're definitely too high. I brought power back a bit. Get us to descend a little better. Second notch of flaps out. Yep. Airspeed a little out of the green. We gotta really dump some altitude here. Last notch. I think they call this dive and drive. So our approach a little quick here. So we're 70 knots where we normally were around 60. But we kind of fixed all of this. So we were over the, we're over the end of the runway at 60. Going to be over the threshold at 50. Now, it was happier with that than I was, but... Okay, one more. Okay. Come on, start climbing. Oh. Wasn't trimmed to climb. It was trimmed to land. Oh, yeah. Yeah, airspeed's like 100. Should be 80. I'm like, why ain't it climbing? You're going too fast. Alrighty, power back to 2000. Roll her over to 330. Trying to do a standard rate turn here. Okay, coming up on 330, roll her back. So that the wings are leveled just as you, as the heading indicator shows 3-3. Down the shoreline, we're a little bit low. I'll pull up on the yoke a little bit to let it climb just a little bit. I'll drop a little bit of airspeed out of it. Whoops. Line her up alongside the shoreline here, parallel with the runway. Okay, this will be a full stop landing. I don't know how many I've done. I think I've done probably 6 or 7. Used to, when I was flying for real, see how many I could, how many touch and goes I could do in an hour. The more landings you do, the better you get at it, so. And I do a lot better job at landing than I did a month or 2 ago. Some of them were just bad. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 6, full stop landing. Yeah, when I go back over on Windows, I get to have Pilot ATC and a lot of my overlay stuff, so. Got a little bear over here on Linux. I hope for it to be better, but it'll all come to a time. The fact I have a chat window in here is the whole reason I can stream and stream VR and Linux. It's because I have a chat window. I cannot stream unless I have a chat window. So if there's somebody in chat that wants to chat, I'm at least aware of it and I can interact. So it's an important part of streaming to me. Second would be sound, and I struggle with that because I stream in VR. So I don't get to see a lot of the turn to a heading of 150. I can't get like a lot of the like the mixer and that stuff inside my headset like I can on Windows. So it makes it more difficult. Just part of the challenge. Okay, I'm going to roll the wings level at 150. We are definitely high. So I'm going to take it back to 1500 here. See if I can improve my situation. It's about the time I finish this turn here, I should be 1200 feet or so. Well, it's not your flaps. Looking pretty good. Awesome. Yeah, so right now I'm getting anywhere between 60 and 70 frames. So Vulkan definitely did an improvement for sure. But it's still extremely confusing to me as to why I'm getting on Linux, not on Windows, but on Linux, but it's basically the same computer. Uh, I'm getting a double vision when I turn my head fast. If it was a performance problem where the frames were too low, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But the point is, the frames aren't too low. The frames are what a lot of people would love to see on their computer in VR. Uh, 60 or 70 frames in VR on a fairly high end VR headset. Yeah, a lot of people would just love to have that. Uh, but the point is that even with those frames, like right now, if I move my head fast, I see a double image of the needle here, the airspeed needle. This needle here, I see a double image of that, and I don't. I got no answers. I just don't. I'm not sure what the deal is. There's another user that's using a Rift S. Sorry, a Rift S on Windows, and he sees the same thing. So you have a user with a Rift S on Windows that sees the same thing that I am using a Valve Index that on Linux. So I'm using Steam VR. So we're using a different OS. We're using a different application to get the images into our headsets. But we see the same issue. The commonality is X-Plane. Uh, what that commonality is, I have no idea. But I don't know what else to think. But there has to be some kind of commonality there, So, but yeah, it was fun. Kind of like at least, if not every day, every other day to at least do some pattern work, So because the weather's been just just too terrible to fly real weather. So, but it also gets me to fly the beta and fly it in a stripped down way, which is what Laminar is asking us to do. Is don't load it up with a whole bunch of add-ons and then go, well, it crashed. Well, we need to get it stable, pretty bare, and that's what I've been trying to do, because I have none of the art add-ons. I haven't used those, and I don't think I've used any of the improve your FPS Fly with Lewis script add-ons since I got my Valve Index. Got my Valve Index, and my frame rates improved dramatically. So before I shut everything down, I'm going to go over to kind of show the my graphics settings. So visual effects are on high. Texture quality is on high. Anti-aliasing is at the bottom. Reflection detail is off. And world objects is on high. I can generally run this up one notch. I'm not right now, but I generally can. Actually, I'll just do that and see if it really made any difference. I don't think it did. If it made any difference, it's marginal. I don't see any 70s right now, but that's about the only difference. And so it doesn't have a dramatic influence. But if I take that a little bit further, so we'll say I take it up here. Now that does have an influence. So that went from around 60 frames to 30 frames by going 2 notches up on the anti-aliasing. But I'm running my, let's see if I can get there. Yep. Nope, over here. So let me go to video per application. So I have this set at 100. My motion smoothing is disabled. And the legacy reprojection mode is on. Whether this is on or off, I don't see where it makes any difference. It certainly doesn't make any difference to the double vision. I've had this enabled, always on. I've had it all over the place, and it doesn't seem to make any difference at all. And so we'll close that back out. So I'm running my Valve Index at a refresh rate of 120. So if we click here, return the game. So I'm going to put my anti-aliasing back. Actually, I'll do it at 1 notch. We'll put it here first. It'll take a little while for it to kind of get its senses, I hope. Oh, this may have been a bad thing to do. Huh. That's kind of a little weird. It seemingly didn't like me doing that. So yeah, so it kind of like locked up right here. So I'm kind of in the holodeck, and it won't let me get out. I don't think it should have done that. I think what I did, it should not have done that. So see what we can do to resolve this. Come on. trying to get back into Steam. Okay, so if I go to desktop and find so what happens if I disable my headset and then go back over here and then re-enable my headset? Return the game. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that was a little weird. So what did I do? Oh, that's cool. So also now, because I did that, my touch controllers are broke. So I have touch controllers, and that's even weirder because they're not really broke. Huh. So this is even stranger. And so right now, you can clearly see that my touch controllers are working here. If I hit this button here, you can see that moves. I hit the other button. Whoops. That's my grip button. It moves. My thumbstick, it moves. But on this board here, I can't do anything. So I can clearly, it's clearly highlighted, but I can't do anything. That's terribly entertaining. So let's see. So controller, let's go to settings. Nope. I wanted controllers. So test controllers. So we look. So I can go over here and you can clearly see the triggers triggering, but it's not doing anything with this whiteboard. So let me go back to the desktop. Let's disable this. Let me go all the way out. Let me go. So now I'm in 2D mode. Over here. VR. So, return to game. Nope. Huh. Well, that's really crazy. So no matter what I do here, I can't get back in the cockpit. And I'm not so sure why that's true. Let me so click on done. Let me pick a different airplane. So I'll pick the G1000. Start new flight. And now let's see if I can get into VR. So I'm clearly, and I mean, I can roam around the holodeck. And if I grip, that doesn't work. That's interesting. So the grip isn't working. So part of my touch controller isn't working, but not all of it. That's even crazier. Whoops. Where'd you go? There you are. Yeah. Well, how about this one? Does this one work? Nope. Has the same problem. Because I should be able to like squeeze on the grip and it would go ahead and yep, nothing. So let's do this. Okay. So I checked the disable mouse. Now I gotta. So now that I've enabled the mouse, okay. So it says missing essential VR buttons reserved. Really? Well, that's crazy. Because they were. So these are like completely missing. And they had to be working before. So that's why did they go away? That would explain it. So let me go to the other one. And both of them are the same. The buttons are gone. The buttons are absolutely gone. Um, and we'll see if this helps. That didn't seem to help. I can click on calibrate now, but it's kind of seriously not the point. Whoops. Doing this in VR is always a trip. And see, it sees that trigger, but that ignore access, that button is dead. Hello, where's the mouse at? There you are. So somehow between me going like out of VR back into VR, somehow the buttons got broken. That's a bit crazy. So, of course, that's gonna not be happy. So, and because the buttons are my joystick, my trigger button isn't working, I can't grab that like I normally can. So I have to grab it with this. And this never works as well as what it does with a touch controller. So, go flight. Flight configuration. Pick the other one. Start new flight. Yep. So there isn't anything that I can do that'll bring these buttons back. That's a bug. I mean, there's no other answer. Yeah, that's crazy. Because I mean, I know that those buttons are on the file that I know that they're in there. So why for some reason is it not reading that? I don't have like a good answer for that. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it a day here. That was a little disappointing. So we'll go done. Ignore.